It's 5 p.m.
All right, quiet on the set.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're live. Let's start the party.
Broadcasting around the world.
OurBroadcastLink.com.
This is your number one internet station. The music you love right here, right now.
OurBroadcastLink.com.
It's another live broadcast. Special edition. Now your hosts, Rob and Jerry.
Hey, well, good evening, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, as we always say. Welcome to another Polkas After Dark edition on Facebook Live, YouTube, and
Our broadcast link
with a C.com. Hey, this is where the crazy people meet on the weekend, and if you're crazy and sick,
we are crazy,
and sick just like us, well, then, and I mean that in two different ways, well, then, welcome to the broadcast. Hey, tonight we've got a great show, and we are going to be talking live in just a little while with Mr. Johnny Karash, originally from Buffalo, New York. He hangs his hat now down in Daytona Beach, Florida. And I'll bet you we're just as warm, if not as warm, here in Buffalo, New York, as he is today in Daytona. Hey, let's bring up his song, starting things off with Johnny on the vocal from way, way back when he was with the G-Notes. Here's one called At Last Polka.
Days of stress and strife have ended for myself and wife. I've reached that point in time when life is beautiful. To sit back and think of those years of days of laughter, also tears. I thank the Lord for what I have today. At last, I sit back and relax. Recall the memories of my heart but fruitful past. It's love and peace we work for all our lives. The love of all our children and our wives. And I had to pray to God to give me strength to carry on, to give my children and my wife the best I could give in my life, and thanks to God I think that I had won. At last, I sit back and relax. Recall the memories of my heart but fruitful past. It's love and peace we work for all our lives. The love of all our children and our wives.
Last. There's one off of the recording titled At Last. That was recorded at Wham Records, Wham Peppermint Studios back in Youngstown, Ohio, quite a few years ago. And we're going to get a chance to talk to Johnny and reminisce about his Buffalo years. We did get a chance to talk to him yesterday for about a good 10, 15 minutes. He's all excited, we're all excited, and we cannot wait, and we're sure that you cannot either. Hey, you know, Johnny did a lot of stuff with Jimmy Sturr and a bunch of other guys, but let's go ahead and bring him up on sax. Here's one called Wild Deuces, and this will probably bring things back for Johnny, too. Here's one by Dennis Poliski's Maestro's Men, featuring John Karash on the sax. Hey, that's the sound of Dennis Poliski's Maestro's Men featuring guest saxophonist Mr. John Karash on the Wild Deuces Polka. And you're going to be hearing Johnny very, very soon because we're going to be calling him at about 25 after 5. It is now 10 minutes past 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we are going to go ahead and play a song by Polka Family. Here's one called Marry Me before we get into, let's go ahead and get into some of the folks that are in the chat rooms right now. First of all, I am looking at some of the people here in the background of Facebook, and it looks, what's that?
I thought you were proposing.
Oh,
I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, was I supposed to say yes?
No, not at all. No, I'm not proposing anything. Go back to coughing.
Okay.
Which I know you will. We've got our cough drops over here and our medications over here. It's like, don't get old. That's all we got to say. Hey, we're going to say hello to Helena Garbach. She's here. Also, Mr. James Rogowski. Jim, once again, thank you for tuning us in here, Polkas After Dark. You're a frequent flyer, so you get your frequent flyer miles, I'm sure, here with us. Also, brother Tommy Hoke down in Uniontown, Pennsylvania. Also going to say hello to Tom Kozawa. I believe Tom is also down in Florida. Johnny Karras is on watching here on Facebook. And we do want to remind you guys that if you would like, you can join us over on our YouTube channel, which is Polkas After Dark. That's right. You go to youtube.com and type in the search Polkas After Dark. You'll get a much better sound quality, sometimes a better video quality as well. I don't know how much better we can look today with our sniffles. Yeah, like blacked out like they do with the people that they're interviewing for crime scenes. Okay, let's see. And we're going to also say hello to Mr. Ed Ryaski. He's tuned in. Gosh, we got a lot of people here. Michael Pakowski, Barb Morose, she's here. Mr. Michael Birdsey. He says, hope you guys had a great Easter and a Dingus Day. We did. And we're going to be interviewing Johnny very, very soon. We know that he had a great time over there at Pubski Pub on Easter Sunday. It looks like Linda Chipchak Merwin. She is in the house here along with her hubby Marty. And it looks like Daniel Hakis is here. Jason Flynn, he says it was great to see you guys over the weekend. Same here. Jason, I know you ran into a nasty snowstorm when you got back, so we're sorry to hear that, but we saw you snow blowing and plowing, and it looked like a lot of fun. Not. Let's see, Ms. Gilvoitovich is here. Fred Gordon. And also it looks like Sharon and Tom Golden, so we're going to say hello to you guys. Daniel Liskevich, Christine and Amanda Holchuk down there in Elmira, New York. And Jerry, why don't you...
We also have Chris Chansky with us and Tana Zelinsky with Teresa and Sarah. Ivan Mayer said he hopes we're feeling better, and we are much better today than we were yesterday. Jerry Romanowski's here with us, Linda P. and Polka Bev, as well as Scotch and Donna hanging with me over on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, Scotch is a very big fan of Johnny Karras, Johnny Karash, if you will. And we're going to be talking with him shortly because he's our interview on your favorite musician of all time right here on Polkas After Dark, the Sunday afternoon edition. Right now, as promised, here's a tune by Polka Family, one called Marry Me Polka. Mr. Nick Yash has joined us over there in the chat room at Facebook, and also Mr. Eric Bukowski and the Bukowski clan.
Softer than any flower, busier than any bee. That is how much I love you. Won't you please marry me? Oh!
That's a little bit of Polka Family, the Marry Me song for you right here. Polkas After Dark, we're glad you guys joined us. Hey, you missed a little bit last night if you didn't catch the Matt Lewandowski quick interview that we had. And Matt was on talking about a brand new release that he's going to be doing. And it's going to be released, well, it's already done. It's going to be released sometime in June. And if you missed that, just go to YouTube after tonight's show and take a peek at that under Matt Lewandowski interview. That was yesterday. And here's a song that he recorded by, with Rhonda Vincent. And here's one called Only Me. Here's Matt Lewandowski. Matt Lewandowski, we can't wait for that release, and that is coming out this June. The title of it is called Hooked on Polka Music, and he's got a plethora of musicians that are entertaining on that recording for you guys. He gave us like 4 IPA Hall of Famers, a bunch of guys from, let's see, Nashville, Tennessee, and of course some local talent too within the Western New York, Ohio, and Michigan areas. If you're just joining us, well, welcome. This is Polkas After Dark on our broadcast link.
With a C.com.
We're going to say hello to Karen and Tom Bayak. They are here with us. Jeanette Tonsky, it looks like Mr. Mike Fadala has joined us in the chat rooms. And of course, Ms. Susie Howard, Sousa, is here. And that, of course, is the AKA Sue Darlak, let's see, Kazuda Myers. She had like a whole host of names. Yeah, I know. Just like you. Holy smokes. Can't believe that. Well, let's see. When you were a Darlak, were you guys related at all?
No. We
No?
still weren't related.
Different Darlaks. Okay. All right. I got you.
I was the other Jerry Darlak.
Oh, okay. The other Jerry Darlak.
Yeah, I wasn't married to Susie.
Okay. Oh, thanks for sharing it with me. I was a little bit concerned. Hey, we're going to be talking live with Johnny Karash in just a little bit. Here's one featuring John on the vocal. Here's one called Mr. Boss, and AKA this is the Jimmy Sturr Band. Hey, how about a little back-to-back Jimmy Sturr? And here's a song called The Greatest Day in Baseball. We're going to send this one out to our very, very dear friend up in heaven, Mr. Matty K. Matty, we miss you. We know you were a big baseball fan.
The greatest day in baseball was the day I went to see the Polish All-Stars play the greatest game in history. The stands were filled with polka fans from across the USA. It was the greatest day when the Polish All-Stars played. As I walked into the stadium, much to my delight, there was Bobby Vinton, all dressed in red and white. He was about to sing for all of us to hear the Star-Spangled Banner.
Hey, Gina and Michael Stepinski are watching. Gina Gamolka, Mike Stepinski in Chicago, Illinois. And we're also going to say hello to Tim and Marianne Creenan. They said steaks on the grill and drinks are ready. We will be over probably around 7:30, 7:45.
As I I looked around the stadium, much to my surprise. Sitting next to me were a bunch of super guys. There sat some famous people, we all knew who they were. I overheard them say, I think that's Jimmy Sturr. As I sat there next to them, I heard the announcer say, the lineup for the game, they were ready now to play. He started with the All-Stars with excitement in his voice. The fans were on their feet, they were ready to rejoice.
Hi, baseball fans. This is John Gordon, the voice of the Minnesota Twins. The lineup for the Polish All-Stars. First base, Ted Kluszewski. Second base, Bill Mazeroski. Shortstop, Tony Kubek. Third base, Whitey Karowski. Catchers, Stan Lapata. Outfielders, Karl Yastrzemski, Stan Musial, and Greg Blazinski. In the dugout, Moose Skowron, Andy Pafko, Walt Dropel, Ron Swoboda, Gene Hermansky, and Tom Paciorek. In the bullpen, Joe Niekro, Eddie Lopat, Ron Peranowski, Ray Narleski, Ray Sadecki. Coaching first base, Roy Matika. Coaching third base, Dick Trzaskowski. And on the mound for the Polish All-Stars, knuckleballer Phil Niekro.
The greatest day in baseball was the day I went to see the Polish All-Stars play the greatest game in history. The stands were filled with Polka fans from across the USA. It was the greatest day when the Polish All-Stars played.
Hey, well, that's the sound of Johnny Karash, Johnny Karas, and we have him live right now. We are so honored and privileged to be talking to you, but I've got to ask this guy first off. Johnny, can you hear me?
I can hear you great.
Beautiful.
Robin,
John,
sounds super.
Let me ask you first of all, and please don't make us sad, but what are your temperatures there? We're in the 70s today here.
Well, I just left our pool where my wife Liz and I live, and it's about 80 degrees right now out here.
Okay, well that's
It's
not
sunny.
too far off then. We won't frown upon that. Hey John, once again, thanks so much for letting us take you away from the poolside here for the next half hour, and please apologize to Liz. We do thank you.
Oh, not at all. I look forward to this very much.
You know, tell us a little bit about, first of all, briefly, you and I were chatting during that song, The
Sure.
Greatest Day in Baseball. Do you recall when you recorded that with Jimmy Sturr?
Yes, I'm going to say, well, first of all, Joe and Phil Niekro were part of the Yankees. They joined the Yankees, and that would have been around 1985, 1986 is my guess. And the two brothers became very big fans of the Jimmy Sturr Orchestra.
Oh, wow.
And they used to come and follow us. I used to go watch them play baseball, go through the Yankees press gate to meet them.
Oh, wow.
Great fans of polka music and the orchestra. They were a great bunch of guys. They are no longer with us, of course. And Phil was a 300-game winner pitching.
Wow.
And he hit 300 in Cleveland, and we met them. I did, as well as Jim and a couple others at a hotel upon his return.
Oh, that's
after
amazing.
His 300th win. Yep.
What a fantastic story. Hey,
Yes.
you have played with Jimmy Sturr's orchestra. We're gonna be all over the place here. My ADD kicks in during these interviews, so I must apologize
Sure.
first off. But let's talk a little bit about Sturr since we're on that. How long have you been playing with Jimmy Sturr?
Yeah, remarkably, be honest with you, it's already 42 years, which is an amazing number to think of it, because I joined the band, and I could go a little bit of the details of that as well.
Oh, I'd
That was around
love for you to do that. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was about 1979, 1980. And of course, as you know, and the listeners know, I was a member of the G-Notes. And I was the manager of the G-Notes during that time, during the 70s. And the Jim's partners, he had Joe Dembeck as a partner and current partner, Gussie Kusher. People know that name. They reached out to me after they heard some of my work with the G-Notes. And I traveled this was an extremely difficult decision for me. I traveled to Florida, New York on 3 different occasions, back and forth, to meet Jim, to meet everyone else, to get a feel of what they were looking for. And Jim was looking for a soloist, someone to sing, and they felt I would fill the bill. And after meeting, I will tell you with all honesty, and I say that to this day, when I met Jim and the other and Joe and the crew, I felt that was one person that's going to take polka music to another level. And I was right with that. It's been an amazing ride. But again, the decision to leave the G-Notes was extremely difficult for me.
Yeah.
And to leave my hometown of Buffalo, New York. But in the end, it's been an amazing ride for me musically, both with the G-Notes and with Jim.
Okay, now we're going to go back to the G-Notes story. So let's go ahead.
Sure.
Was that the very first band that you played with, John?
No, it was really my brother Tommy, my late brother Tommy. Most people know of the tragic, he died tragically 20 years ago.
Yes.
But anyway, he and I, as kids, I was 7 years old. My brother was 10, approximately. And my mother, I didn't have any aspirations to become a musician, but my mother said, here's a clarinet. You're going to play clarinet. Tommy, you're going to play accordion. And we became the Tommy K Trio, then the Tommy K Quartet. And we used to perform as kids at the Glen Park Casino or Glen Park for a variety show. And it was called Mrs. Dunn's Stars of Tomorrow. I was a little kid with clarinet singing up front, my brother on an accordion and a drummer.
Wow.
And that's how it all started, and that progressed to the Little New Yorkers, and then it was the G-Notes. And I could go in more detail as far as the G-Notes creation.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that because, and not to interrupt you, but
Go ahead.
Your late brother Tommy, I was privileged to play with him with the New York Sound. When I first moved to Buffalo, I was still with the Dynatones. But I played with him on stage a lot at various locations. Chopin Singing Society was one.
Wow.
We did Wednesday nights and Friday nights, had a blast. That was when Mike Birdsey, and Mike is listening in. Mike and Sue Birdsey are tuned in today this afternoon to catch the interview as well. But just had a great time with him. And then years fast forwarded, I had the honor of playing on a recording with him with Anya Pivovarchuk. What a talent.
Okay.
And correct me if I'm wrong. He was the first guy that invented the quadruple shake. It really wasn't a triple. It almost sounded like a quadruple shake. And to watch him, he did it just so tastefully. But you're looking at his arm and like, how is he doing that?
You're exactly correct. And people still remember that.
Oh, yeah.
They remember, his ability. One thing my brother was with the G-Notes, and whenever we played, he was, as musicians know, it's the rhythm section that drives us guys up front.
You betcha.
And his emphasis on accordion, the bass player that you would have, the drummer, it was an absolutely driving force, and my brother could effortlessly triple belly shake.
Yeah.
And he's been, that's one of his signature abilities in my opinion. Opinion.
Yeah, amen. God rest his soul. Fantastic talent. But let's get back to the creation of the G-Notes.
Sure. And this is how that came. That's Robin. And I'm going to try and go through the history here because the G-Notes actually began in the late 60s.
Oh.
We were called, my brother and I, our band was called Tommy K and the Little New Yorkers because the New Yorkers Orchestra, who was one of my all-time favorite bands, they gave us the name the Little New Yorkers. And during the latter part of their history with the Mazureks and what great musicians they had, Gino Kurgel, the bass player, and Gene Martin approached us and suggested forming the G-Notes, and that was the late 60s.
Okay.
So that was Gene Martin, who passed away early prematurely. And we had on drums a young man, Bob Smitrevich. No one would know that name. Then it advanced where we had Marty Kozlowski play trumpet. I played a lot of trumpet as well. People may not know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I played a lot of trumpet. A lot of the G-Notes tunes that you hear on the albums, whether it's G-Notes at Last, etc., I'm playing trumpet and then dubbing maybe a tenor onto the recording.
Nice.
So, and then going into the 70s, I'll say the quote final band was Gino Kurgel, Jerry Misovich, one of the finest trumpeters ever played trumpet. Fabulous. Then on drums was Jerry's brother, Lenny Misovich, who passed away prematurely at the age of 29. And then Hank Tchaikovsky, I hope I pronounced his name correctly, became our drummer. So that's in essence what became the 5-piece G-Notes that many of our tunes that you hear were us 5 guys.
Beautiful.
Later on, in the later 70s, Al Kanya joined us. I said, hey, Al, why don't you join the orchestras as well? So that, I think, summarizes as best as I can the creation of the G-Notes. And that band, I still look at that orchestra, that band, and with such fond memories, and the talent on stage and our delivery was so good.
I remember when it last came out. I couldn't wait to get a hold of it, put the record on the turntable, and just started playing trumpet along to it. And it's like, man, I got to hear these guys at some point. And unfortunately, I didn't hear that exact band or that era of the band.
Sure.
But I was able, when I moved up to Buffalo in 1983, I was able to catch a lot of the bands, including the G-Notes, over at Alexandra's, because they were like the house band over at Alexandra's on Broadway on Sunday after the Grill, we used to call it. Sunday after the Broadway Grill.
Broadway Grill,
yeah.
Henry's Place, yeah.
And Henry's going to be joining us for an interview on May, I think the 22nd, if I'm not mistaken. You mentioned Jerry Masovich. He joined us last year for an interview, and all of these are in our archives, and boy, what great talent. So you are 100% correct. And so go ahead now. Let's get out of the G-Notes. And again, I'm telling you that I don't have anything planned or canned. But
That's fine.
I do want to go back. Let's go all the way back when you grew up on, I want to say, was it Oberlin? No.
That's correct.
Oberlin. Okay. Tell us a little bit about the home growing up with everything. With the music.
My brother and I and my 2 sisters who are listening, Karen and Donna, that live in Buffalo. And it was, by the way, while we're on that Buffalo trip, I have to say it was such a delight for me to take part in being a stay in Buffalo, to see the family, my sisters, my nieces, nephews, and having dinner together on Easter was a special day and trip for both Liz and myself, because that doesn't happen very often, as you know, Robin.
Oh, that's great.
So I just wanted to throw that out there. Being a stay was amazing. Despite the weather, it was
a little chilly and a little bit of snow, but mixed snow. Now, you also performed with a touch a little bit over at the Pubsky Pub on Easter Sunday. Where did you guys meet for dinner?
Well, we ate at my sister Karen's house. Okay. That's where we had our Easter dinner.
All right.
But at Pubsky, that was, Kenny and the owners actually of Pubsky invited me if I would come and play as a special guest type of thing, and I'm glad I did that. That was a great time as well, and I thank Kenny and the guys in the band as well. So now, so going back to growing up as a kid, I grew up in a very traditional Polish community, Oberlin Street, that whole what they'll call the historic east side of Buffalo.
Okay.
That's where I was born. That's not technically born, but where my brother and my sisters where we were raised by my father, Tony, and mother, Carrie.
Okay.
And we were there for so many years, going to your traditional Catholic church, St. Luke's Parish, and being involved with music. I studied clarinet at the age of 7 at the historic Edwin's Music Store
Oh, wow.
with a gentleman by the name of Frank Kellish. I still remember Frank Kellish. He taught me clarinet. Dave Benashak taught my brother, Dave, one of the best. He was with the New Yorkers,
Yeah.
if I recall as well, taught my brother accordion. And one of the beautiful parts of Edwin's Music Store were they would have combo lessons, where they really taught you how to play as a group. So that was the genesis of Tom and myself performing. And we've performed as a trio, the Tommy K Trio. We would travel it to Dunkirk, all over the place. My parents would take us to play. But the Polish ethnic upbringing still stays with me because it was truly a Polish community. That's where I was exposed to Polish music and some of the bands that performed back in those days. My parents would take my brother and I to see Ray Budziewicz, for example, one of the Connecticut Twins.
Oh,
I remember being at what was it called? Pulaski Park, I think. And I remember them inviting me up on stage to play clarinet with them. And I must have been only 14 years old. And these are the memories that I have and being exposed to Polish/polka music.
wow. Now, you have not only entertained with the Jimmy Sturr Band and the G-Notes, but you have shared the stage with the New Yorkers, Marion Lush, Ray Budziewicz's band, Frankie
Yes.
Yankovic, Little Wally. Of course, you mentioned the Connecticut Twins, Gene Wisniewski, Frank
Yes.
Wojnarowski with the
Yes.
Pick a Polka TV show.
Yep.
Gosh, Eddie
That's true.
Blazonczyk Sr., Lenny Gomolka, Polka fan. I could go on and on and on. You've just had an amazing career. And we also are showing some pictures of, you and the family, different family members. But you have also recorded with Bobby Vinton, the Oak Ridge Boys, Bill Anderson, Mel Tillis, Myron Florin, and, Willie Nelson.
Yes.
The list goes on and on. So you have been blessed. Now, you said 42 years with Sturr. How many years
Yes.
have you been playing total, Johnny?
Well, it's got to be, it has to be over 60 years.
Wow.
It has to be 60, 63, 64 years
Oh, that's
as
amazing.
a child. And you know what's interesting, Robin? I still have my student books from Edwin's Music Store. And I look at what I was playing on clarinet, because clarinet actually was my original instrument. And I look at what I was playing back then, and I'm saying, okay, that was pretty good. But then I learned alto sax by Frank, and then I just migrated to tenor sax, which now is my sole instrument. That's all I play is tenor sax, which is fine with me. But I played a lot of trumpet. I played trumpet for many years with Jerry Miasovich and myself, and flute. I also played flute.
Oh,
But,
jeez. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So,
I have always
But-
known you as a saxophonist, but
Yes.
I didn't know you played clarinet either.
Yep.
Do you have a favorite memory of a place that you played with any band whatsoever? Maybe it was, when you guys first started out, you and Tommy, but do you have a memorable place that sticks in your mind?
wow, that's such a difficult one. But if I were to, I'll start with when I have to say number one as a kid, and I would have to be the Glen Park days. As
Okay.
kids playing in front, being as part of a variety show. But then next to it, Pillar's Polka-bration with the G-Notes.
Oh,
I remember those days when Dick Pillar had the Polka-bration. And those were back in the days, as we all know, the 70s. Those years were remarkable
yes.
when it came to polka music. on the east side. So that one sticks in my mind a lot when I recall, because, for example, the Crew Brothers. Tony Krupski was a best friend of mine. The Crew Brothers were a great, great band. And I remember going with Tony and his wife, my wife at that time, and taking a ride and going to Pillars Corporation.
Wow.
Those were great days for music. With Stir, that's a real tough one. And I must say, Dingus Day now sticks as one of the best I've been in a long time, but playing in Europe. With Stir, we were a part of what is best described. We were invited to play New Year's Eve in Germany, and it was televised satellite throughout Europe, as far as the Middle East, and we were part. And this happened in 2021. And they introduced us after the Twin Towers went down. That was in our background. And that was a very emotional time for everyone.
Sure.
But to be part of that type of extravaganza in Europe with other bands and types of music from so many different countries, that's a memory that stays with you.
Jeez.
So that would be another one. And there's so many others. It's very difficult.
Yeah, I'll bet, to just isolate, especially on your career anyhow. Hey, what does Johnny Karas listen to when he's not listening to polka music? What kind of genres do you listen to? What's your favorite?
Wow. I've always, that's a super question, because I listen to all kinds of music, and I'm a big believer, as long as it's played well, it's good.
Yeah.
So I truly mean that, is I really enjoy a lot of the country music. I love big band music, big band jazz type of music. My favorite quartet ever and saxophone player, Dave Brubeck.
Dave Brubeck
is one of my all-time favorite groups for jazz. Paul Desmond on alto. Boots Randolph was a very dear friend of mine. And he and I would talk music, and he and I performed many times together.
I remember that.
Yeah, what an honor to play next to a man that was my idol growing up, and that's fact. Mm-hmm. If my parents had been alive, knowing that I was on stage in Atlantic City with Boots Randolph, I'm sure they were smiling if they could hear that.
And I bet you they did.
Yeah, so those are so many difficult. I oftentimes think of when you try and look back through the years, and just as many in the music industry as myself would say, I have so many pictures that, as a matter of fact, as we speak, I'm going through some, and they're bringing back so many great memories of my history in music with my brother, with the bands I've been affiliated with, the people I've performed with.
Yeah.
Bobby Vinton, he's been one of my favorites of all time. We did concerts with him, so many concerts with Bobby. And he would always use our horn section at concerts as well. So those are great memories you cannot forget.
Yeah, hear. Who did you idolize growing up? Who was, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a polka hero, but who was your hero growing up, Johnny?
Growing up, I'm going to say, okay, this is going to be interesting. When it came to heroes that I listened to, I'm going to say, as far as let's say Buffalo bands, I was absolutely blown away by the New Yorkers Orchestra. The musicianship, the Mazureks, John Kusky on drums. Those guys, I used to carry Henry Mazurek's saxophone. And when you talk to him, you tell him I remember that. In fact, into Chopin's. I used to carry his alto.
I believe he's tuned in, him and Pat. I believe they're tuned in, catching us on YouTube today.
It's fact. And the Connecticut Twins, that musicianship it really impressed me so much. Bujiewicz band. You can't forget Blazonczyk, playing with these guys at St. John Canty's or whatever venue. I always loved the vocals of Gene Wisniewski. I always loved his stylings, and it's an honor to have met him as well.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult question. And then, in truth be told, Boots Randolph, to me, growing up, him, Paul Desmond, on the non-polka side, impressed me and influenced me. And Boots Randolph, because of his attack. And any sax player, any musician will know, when I play, it's that, I hope, that attack that I present to the tenor sax when I'm performing, and the power. And I think Boots represented that as well.
Yeah. Now, you've also written some songs over your musical career. Do you have one or two of them that you can share the title, and which one kind of you love to sing or you love to play on the stage?
As far as writing, I did one, At Last.
Really? That was it?
That's it.
Oh, I'll be a son of a gun. And that's what we started the broadcast with today, too.
Pardon me?
That's what we started the broadcast off with today, too, was At Last. That was
I
always
wrote
one of my
that.
favorites.
Yeah, I wrote that in a back room of Club 77, where I used to hang out all the time.
Now you're dating
Club
yourself.
77. Yep.
Chet Maguta's
Polish
place.
Power. That's where that was, on the street we did that.
Wow. And I've got
That's
Polish
true.
Power queued up, too, as a matter of fact, a little bit. Just fantastic songs, though.
See, but my brother, honestly, when it came to the G notes, he did so much as far as the music for the G notes. Lenny Misovich was very involved in that. I played it. And my brother, a story, and I've been asked this many times, Sax Clarinet Polka, which became like a signature solo that I took, and when we recorded at Lamb Records. And that was 1973, I believe. My brother approached me, says, John, at a rehearsal at Gino's house, let's do clarinet polka on tenor sax. And I looked at my brother, I swear, and I said, come on, are you serious? I said, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. You know something? He insisted, let's just do it. And boy, oh boy, it proved one thing. He was smarter than I at the time.
Yeah, and you're right about
classic solo.
You're right about a signature song, and so many guys have done a great job replicating it, but you can tell when it's Johnny Karas that is playing it. You really can. I mean, you've just got your own personalization to it, and just amazing. Do you have a favorite song that you like to sing or play other than sax clarinet on the stage with Stir, let's say?
I'll tell you one that I sang with Kenny Michalski, and believe it or not, it's a waltz called Polish Traditions.
Yeah.
And there's a reason, and it's on one of Jim's recordings. But when I sing that song, the lyric is so important as a vocalist, and it just tells the story of the traditions of Polish, like what we used to always enjoy in the city of Buffalo that unfortunately doesn't exist anymore. Yeah. The lawn feast, at the weddings, the Polish weddings, the picnics. That tradition has, in many respects, has unfortunately faded away in what it used to be. So us older guys, I look back at those times being a Polish man, and I cherish the memories of sitting down, going to church, and having your Easter basket blessed. I'm sure it still happens, but you get it.
Sure.
The east side of Buffalo, from Warsaw Inn to Polish Villa to Broadway Grill to Chopin's, my goodness, those days, unfortunately, aren't really around much anymore, and people know that.
No, you are absolutely right. You hit the nail on the head with that. Not only the churches, the camaraderie of the families, when you'd sit down at dinner time and you'd actually talk about your day, what you did with the family. Now it's
Correct.
just lives are so busy, Johnny, that, the kids have to eat on the fly and they have to get ready for soccer practice or, softball practice or whatever. And it's very difficult to have that family unity, if I could say that, if I could use that word, the family unity at the dinner table anymore.
Right.
So I totally
And
agree with you there.
Yeah. And the traditions that those of us that are Polish and still practice as much as possible, those traditions, opłatek.
Yeah,
for an
I was just
example.
going to say that for Christmas, sharing of the
Yeah.
opłatek. Yes.
Of course.
Wow.
Of course.
Hey, John, I'm going to ask you this, and it's somewhat of a personal question. You don't have to answer it, but do you have a day job that you would like to share with us, or have you throughout your years?
I do. And people are surprised to hear that. My wife and I, we bought a place. I live in Daytona Beach, Florida. We moved here about a year and a half ago to a place called, oh, by the way, Margaritaville. It's amazing, a great decision. A beautiful community, great neighbors. But I still work. I have a den here. I'm affiliated with a company called Quest Financial Services,
Okay.
which is in Goshen, New York, Hudson Valley, New York. And I've been with them for over 18 years. It's a wealth management company.
Gotcha.
But my focus is insurance, anything insurance related. And one area that I'm extremely busy with is providing advice to people eligible for Medicare, for an example, long-term care, those types of products that I'm very knowledgeable of.
Okay.
So I prefer to stay active and rather than, quote, retire 100%. So between that and music, keeps me very busy.
Sure. Excellent. Also, you mentioned Polish Power in there with the sax clarinet and everything from that recording. We've got a couple of people here tuned in today, and the Curtis family. Remember Tony Curtis from
Of course.
the Youngstown, Ohio area? Well, he had passed, but we have still been very, very close friends with his family.
Tony
his kids.
Curtis, absolutely.
Yeah, well,
Yep.
Tina and
Tina.
and Loretta and Chris, the son, they all three tune us in, and they're sharing in the interview today with you. And I remember Tina being on Polish Power. Now, I don't know if she was singing or screaming in the back.
Yes.
Do you remember when Tony brought the kids over there? Because G-Notes were like their top-notch band for many, many years growing up. And you guys, when you played Idora Park, Youngstown, Ohio, Monaca PNA Club, just to bring up some of those memories.
Seven Springs, you name it. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. They were always there and a big supporters of the G-Notes throughout the musical career. And Loretta just wanted me to mention that. She says, "Oh, I remember Polish Power. Tina was on that recording." And
she dubbed her voice onto the recording. I forget exactly what was said, but that's true.
And then there was also a song, something about "We Love You, Daddy" or something at
We
the end.
love you, Daddy. That's right.
At the end of one of them. Hey, so I didn't want to get off track, but I did want to mention that because we really owe a lot to our viewers and our listeners here, because a lot of people don't get a chance, especially on hot summer days like this, to watch us, but they have us running in the background, so they're hearing everything, and we do appreciate them tuning into Polkas After Dark every weekend that we're on Saturdays and Sundays. Hey, also, I know you've recorded a lot of recordings. Do you have a favorite studio or one that left you with a huge impact? That when you walked in there, it's like, oh, this is going to be great, and when you walked out of there, you said, wow.
Yeah. First, I'll speak. I have to do it in this manner, I believe. When it came to the G-Notes, Dave Zukowski and I met at the G-Notes used to play at Plavaki Post like every Friday. And that's where I met Dave Zukowski. And he was instrumental. He and I then came to an agreement to record because I thought the G-Notes were ready. One of the things that I was a big believer in, not to record until you knew you had a really good product. And the G Notes at Last album, in my opinion, the songs on there, we were ready to record. And that's how we were introduced to Wham Records
Okay.
with Gary Reamy. So that was number one. With the Stir Band, this is a great. We recorded in RCA Studios in New York City.
Oh, that had to have been huge.
Yeah, huge place. And then Tony Bennett's studio, which was outside in New York City. We did quite a few over there.
Oh.
So that would be one. And you know, being with Jimmy Stern, he developed a connection with country. Tom Pick was our engineer,
Okay.
and he recently passed away, unfortunately. But he was our engineer, and he did so much with Dolly Parton, so many country stars. He was our sound engineer, and then going to Nashville to mix and record in Nashville, Tennessee, as well. So there was more than over 40 years with the Stir Band. We've recorded in more than one location, but Tony Bennett Studios, his son Randall, that studio was incredibly impressive. RCA, of course, and then Nashville.
Wow. What's in the future for Johnny K right now? You'd mentioned that you're playing some gigs down there in your community, and that's
Yeah.
what they refer to you as Johnny K. So tell us a little bit about that, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, my neighbors here now, they've see, because I didn't go when we moved in. I didn't go out there saying, "Hey, I play tenor sax." It sort of became, noted after a while. But my neighbors call me Johnny K now, and they have bands here, and there are a couple of them that they want me to join their band, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And but I have to be honest with you, Robin. I don't think I want to get involved in something that be at a rehearsal on Monday and all this.
Exactly.
I want to relax a little bit.
Understandable.
But they have one band here. There's about 10, 11 guys and one gal in it, and that's when I first played tenor sax. And they play all your classic type of rock stuff, familiar tunes. And the piano player, who was the quarterback, so to speak, said, "John, here's my list. Here's our list." I says, "Don't worry about it. Just play them. I'll be good." And he's looking at me. I said, "No, just play. If I hear I'm fine." And I took a couple solos, and they said they have a sax player now. So
Oh, that's priceless.
It was funny. But we performed it. People around here at the golf courts at the end of our cul-de-sac, and there had to be 300 people listening to us. So it's really cool.
Wow.
Now, but it's a very active place.
You'll see this on YouTube when you're done, or Facebook at a later time. But there's a lot of pictures that are floating around about you, and I want to thank Les Kapuscinski up in Canada, because we take a lot of stuff from him. He sends us a bunch of stuff. But I'm looking at a couple of pictures right now of a young lady wearing a crown that was the IPA queen. And that was back in, I think 85, 86. And I got to tell you this, and Jerry kind of knows this too. When I saw Donna not too long ago, I says, "That's Donna Karas." She says, "Who's Donna?" And I explained to her, and I says, "I had the biggest crush on her when I moved to Buffalo in 1983. And if she's listening, I hope she's turning redder than a beet, because, but I did. And I always loved chatting with her. I mean, she's just so down to earth, so well educated, and just had a lot of fun talking to her. And I hope we get a chance to do that again someday. Just sit down and reminisce like we're doing now. But tell us about having a very famous young lady in the family there.
You must be speaking about Donna.
I sure am, baby.
She is listening, and my sister Karen's listening.
Yep.
As well. But I was so proud. The 50th anniversary, I forget exactly, it was IPA 50th. They had at the Millennium Hotel.
Yep.
And I made sure I was there. I was invited for that, the Hall of Fame, whatever it was. And it was a delight for me to walk arm in arm with my sister Donna, her wearing her crown for being a former
IPA queen.
IPA queen. Yeah. Yes, that was very, very cool.
Hey,
Yep.
so I'm already at 6 minutes past the hour of 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I do hate to bring this to a little bit of a close, but I've got two more questions for you, John, if you wouldn't mind asking.
Sure.
First of all, do you have? I mean, you've traveled so much. Do you have a favorite breakdown story? Something that was kind of funny that you can share with everybody? Either it was on the road with the G Notes or Stir, maybe a bus breakdown story. But do you have a favorite breakdown story? At least one that you can share with us?
A breakdown where the bus broke down?
Exactly, and yeah, not mental breakdown, because I think we could all go into details about that. No.
There's been quite a few times the bus broke down.
Oh, good. Well,
especially throughout the years. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, do you have a favorite one that sticks out that you've talked about with other people?
Oh my God, I'm thinking now. You have me thinking. Oh
Good.
boy. But we once played in South Dakota, and think about this. This South Dakota and the bus, we flew there, and the bus met us to play, and we had, and I'm trying to remember here, but what had happened, the bus had an issue. It's pouring rain, and we had to stop in the middle of nowhere underneath a overpass.
Okay.
And that one I remember without going into further details, but we actually played at an Indian casino, an Indian casino, like couldn't be the size of, my goodness gracious, what's one of the smallest cities we know? But that would be one. But I'll just stop right there with that story. But
Yeah.
we did break down and sat underneath a railroad trestle or something in pouring rain, and we kind of ran out of beer, if you know what I mean.
Oh, that would have had to have been a serious problem.
Yeah.
Jeez, oh whiz. And
I have to, before I forget, I have to give a shout out. I have one boy, one son, John, with his wife Kelly. They live in Northern Virginia.
Oh.
And I have a grandson, Coley, and my granddaughter will be celebrating her 16 sweet Avery Rose 16 sweet 16 tomorrow is her birthday.
Well, happy birthday
So
to
I want
her.
to make sure I mention that to all the folks that know my son and daughter-in-law and kids. Miss them dearly. They live outside of Washington, D.C.
That is fantastic. Hey, Johnny, in closing, again, I want to thank you so very much. Please apologize to Liz for us keeping you away from the pool for so long, but you still have a few more good hours yet to go that you can bask in the sun, I'm sure. I do want to ask you one final question.
Okay, I have all the time in the world. Go ahead.
Good. I want to ask you, what would Johnny Karras say to someone that just wants to get into music? It can be any genre of music. They either want to be a leader, just a player, maybe a front man. What advice would Johnny give to that person if he sat down and they asked?
Oh, man. I love that question. And I've done this throughout my career, sitting down with a parent and their child and young kids. And here's one of the messages I always try and communicate to a youngster. And that is, when you practice, it's not about how many notes you can play. It's making a note sound the way it should. The intonation, make it sound pretty, if that makes sense to you.
It sure
because
does.
One of the things that I do when I play a ballad, if you ever heard me do some of my solos on a ballad, it doesn't have to be a gazillion notes within 5 frames or whatever measures, but it's the quality of the sound of your instrument, the mouthpiece, the setup that you have. Work on that. And I've sat down with kids, and they take that advice, and if I stay communicating with them, and I say, yes, that's it, you've got it, and I think that's very important because I think they get too wrapped up in listening to things that perhaps they're not ready to play. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. It sure does. Janice J just chimed in. She said hello to everybody. And we're going to also say hello once again to Sharon Golden. Sharon and Tommy. Hey, but listen,
Yes.
once again, I thank you so very, very much. Once again, happy Sweet 16 to your lovely granddaughter. May she have a successful career as Grandpa
Yes.
and Grandma have over the years, and of course, Mom and Dad. But again, Johnny, I cannot thank you enough for spending the time with us tonight on Polkas After Dark on our YouTube channel, as well as www.ourbroadcastlinkwithac.com, and of course Facebook Live. John, until our paths cross again, I love you, buddy, and you take care. And I have one more song that I want to bring up here.
May I say one final word before I let you go?
Please, thank
This
you.
is very important to me. Now, for the audience as well, I'm on the board of directors of an organization, not-for-profit organization called Music for Humanity. And the mission of Music for Humanity is by offering music education scholarships. We raise money for our scholarships with concerts, free performances, et cetera, et cetera. And I would encourage your listeners to just go in and look at Music for Humanity. And if they can find it in their hearts to maybe purchase a raffle ticket, et cetera, we've given over the past few years well over $100,000. $15,000 scholarships, $10,000 to aspiring musicians, seniors in high school, for an example, that are going on to an accredited music college, Fredonia College, for example.
Okay.
But people may, if they look at that, they could even apply for one of these scholarships. Music for Humanity. Kindly keep that in your mind.
Okay,
as well.
And that they can just search that on the internet. Once again, give them the information.
Music for Humanity. That's
Okay.
all you have to Google, so to speak.
That is perfect. Well, John, again, thank you so very much. We're going to end this segment with the master on the saxophone right here. Here is one called the Sax Serenade Polka. Yes, sirree, that's Johnny Karas entertaining you right here on Polkas After Dark, the Sunday evening edition. And Jerry says, it's a shame that we're not out by the pool. Well, Johnny, if you're taking a look at this, eat your heart out, buddy, because we're just bouncing around, having a good time here. But again, thanks so much.
I'm a pool over there.
No, you're sitting over there having a drink. I can see you right there.
I'm still bobbing.
Yeah, that's all right. So am I. And I know Greg Schwoiduk likes that background. So
we're going to go over the waterfall, I think.
Hey, once again, thanks so much for tuning us in. We're here till 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And we do thank you guys so much for popping in here. Why don't you, Jerry, give a shout out to some people in the chat rooms, because it looks like they're pretty full.
We are going to say hello to... Is my mic okay? Okay, try that. 1, 2.
I don't know what that
There's
background
water on
is.
in the background.
Oh,
Maybe you can kill the water.
Yeah. Do we really want to, though? That's the thing. Yeah.
Maybe not.
That's what I'm listening to. Yeah. Let me bring the water sound down.
All right.
There
Anyway, so we're going to say hi to Alice, Chris Curtis, Chris Tansky, Dave and Judy, Donna Zielinski with Teresa and Sarah, Fred Eldemeyer, Ivan Mayers, Jerry Romanowski, Linda P. and Sousa 3459 over there. Then we're going to say hey to Scotch and Donna, as well as Beverly Nibel. Ricky Cruz said great interview, and Roger Kane is with us as well over there
in Michigan. Well, great. And again, thanks ever so much for supporting Polkas After Dark. You guys are fantastic. You know that. And we are so happy to have rubbed shoulders with Johnny and the late Tommy Karas, his brother. Like I said, and I meant that heartfelt, I had a blast recording with Tommy and playing with him. Just a fantastic personality, taken from us way too soon. But we're going to go ahead and remember Tommy and Johnny here as well. And all the guys in the G Notes. We've got another song here, and it's called Polish Power.
Let's get our right arms up in the air for the Polish Power Polka.
We want to tell you about the USPA 53rd Annual Festival and Convention.
May 26th through the 29th, 4 days of polka music, and that is Memorial Day weekend, of course.
Hey, there's food concessions available daily, special drink prices throughout the weekend. Daily admission is $20 Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but you can save money with a 3-day pass. That's only $51.
Thursday, May 26th in the Lounge, music from 9 to 1 a.m. by Jimmy Kay and the All-Stars, and that is a free event.
Friday, May the 27th, doors open at 6 p.m. The Lounge, there's music from 8 p.m. until 12 a.m. by New Generation, and in the ballroom, 7 p.m. to 1 a.m., it's The Beat and the Dinah vs. Sticktonaires.
Dinah versus Sticktonaires, 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 Dinah versus Sticktonaires, that's the name of the band.
Hey.
On Saturday, May 28th, it's the 46th Annual Polka Music Awards Banquet. Reservations are required. In the ballroom at 10 a.m., music provided by Polish Freight and Music Company. There will be a lounge party, music from 12 until 3 p.m. with the Polski Chicks.
And in the Lounge, music starts at 8 p.m. until midnight with the Tri-City Drive. The Ballroom, music from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. Wow, that's 12 continuous hours of music. The Maestro's Men, the New Brass Express, the Boys, and the Polish Connection.
On Sunday, May 29th at 10 a.m. is the USPA Annual Meeting Election of Officers. That is a members-only event. At 11 a.m., there's going to be a polka mass with John Guda and Gulale.
Music from 1 p.m. to 1 a.m. There's that 12 hours again. The Polka Country Musicians, Dinah Brass, Polka Family, and John Gura and Gurale.
Rooms are available at the Holiday Inn, Cleveland South, 6001 Rockside Road, Independence, Ohio, 44131. And you can call 216-524-8050 for reservations, and there is a special room rate.
What's the rate?
It is $96 per night.
Call the Holiday Inn once again at
216-524-8050.
Hey, don't forget, you can also purchase a 3-day pass for $51 per pass for all 3 days. Otherwise, you're going to be paying $20 per day, so that's a savings of $9 per pass.
And you do have to get those in advance. They will not be sold at the door. Also, while we're mentioning it, the 46th Annual USPA Polka Music Awards Banquet. Tickets are available for that, and they are only $28 per person. Cash bar, no refunds.
Hey folks, we are going to see you at the USPA 53rd Annual Festival and Convention, May 26th through the 29th.
Make plans now to attend the 54th Annual International Polka Association's Convention and Festival, Labor Day weekend, September 2nd through the 4th, at the Pittsburgh Cranberry Hilton Doubletree Hotel in Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania. Enjoy 3 fun-filled days, including a welcome party, the prestigious Hall of Fame and Music Awards banquet, pool parties, election of officers and directors, performances by Hall of Famers, and polka entertainment featuring some of the nation's top polka bands, featuring Lenny Gomulka and Chicago Push, the Dinah Brass, the Buffalo Concertina All-Stars, the Jack Taddy Band, the IPA Tribute Band, Michael Costa and the Beat, Klansnick and Friends, John Gura and Gurale, the Polka Country Musicians, New Generation, 7, the Boys, Cosmics, and the New Tone. Get all the details on room reservations and more by visiting the IPA online on Facebook and at IPAPolkas.com. Don't miss the 54th Annual International Polka Association's Convention and Festival, Labor Day weekend, September 2nd through the 4th, at the Pittsburgh Cranberry Hilton Doubletree Hotel in Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania. Get all the details at IPAPolkas.com.
Hey Mark, why don't you tell them a little bit about the kickoff dance?
Labor Day weekend brings another annual IPA convention and festival, and Thursday, September 1st is the kickoff of the big weekend with Western Pennsylvania's hottest polka band, the Mon Valley Push. 7 p.m. at the Cranberry Elks Lodge, Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania. A cash bar will be available for your favorite beverages, so no BYOB. For tickets, table reservations, and details, contact Chris Bogdan at 412-260-9725. That's 412-260-9725, or email Chris at bogdanfamily.com. That's Chris at BOGDON family.com. Don't miss the 54th Annual IPA Convention Kickoff Party with the Mon Valley Push. 7 p.m. on Thursday, September the 1st at the Cranberry Elks Lodge, 20720 Route 19, Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania. For tickets, table reservations, and details, contact Chris Bogdan at 412-260-9725.
Take a chance and have a dance, you'll yell and scream for more.
Hi, Polka fans. Ronnie Costa here to tell you about an upcoming event you don't want to miss. Polka Yashu presents a New Year's Eve polka extravaganza. 3 bands, 2 nights, all at one fantastic location, the Embassy Suites in Independence, Ohio. Saturday night, New Year's Eve dinner dance. Music by polka country musicians and the Beat. Dinner starts at 5:30 p.m. with dancing from 7 to 1 a.m. Sunday, New Year's Day, features music of Polka Family and the Beat from 2 to 8 p.m. The 2-day package price is $140 per person or $125 for New Year's Eve and $25 for New Year's Day. Embassy Suite room rates for the weekend start at $119 per night. For all the amazing extras, details, and reservations, see the flyer at Michael Pekowski or Jeff Yash's Facebook page or call Mike at 908-209-9843 or Jeff at 518-281-1587. Folks, this is the New Year's Eve event you've been waiting for. Don't miss it. Deadline to reserve is October 15th. Hope to see you there.
But as it is, I'll dream of her tonight. Falling, yes, I am falling, and she keeps calling me back again.
So looking forward to that event, but what else we're looking forward to is the Buffalo Polka Boosters 52nd Annual Picnic on Sunday, July 24th, 2022. Time is at 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. Fontana's Picnic Grove here in Buffalo, New York. The address there is 2299 Clinton Street, and we will absolutely positively be there celebrating another one of our anniversaries over there, and we will be listening to the music of Buffalo's newest, hottest band, Seven. Food served from 3 to 6 p.m. Burgers, hot dogs, Polish sausage salads. Bring your own pitcher for beer. There is a no BYOB rule in effect there. Water and pop will also be available. One price for everything. Members are $20 in advance until June 22nd, and I know we got our tickets already. $25 at the door for members and guests if you don't get them in advance. Children up to the age of 12 are free when accompanied by an adult. Advance tickets are highly recommended. Last year was a blast. Tickets will be available in April, and there are no refunds for this event. For more information, you can contact Chris Tansky at 716-771-1076 or Barbara Rose at 716-668-2694. You are gonna want to be there.
Rano, rano, raniusieńko, rano porosie, aha, rano porosie. Wyganiała buki, pole rozwidniało się. Łojdana, moja dana, będziesz ty moja dana, będziesz ty moja. Łojdana, moja dana, będziesz ty moja dana, będziesz ty moja. Skowroneczek przyśpiewuje, słowik turuje, a ja sobie do dziewczyny tak przyśpiewuję. Łojdana, moja dana, będziesz ty moja dana, będziesz ty moja. Łojdana, moja dana, będziesz ty moja dana, będziesz ty moja. Śpiewam dla ciebie, dziewczyno, bo będziesz moja. Ożenimy się w kościele na koniec maja. Łojdana, moja dana, będziesz ty moja dana, będziesz ty moja. Łojdana, moja dana, będziesz ty moja dana, będziesz ty moja.
Brawo!
Hey, let's bring up a little bit of Polish connection. Here's one called Going to the City.
Jadę do miasteczka, jadę se z daleka. Po każdym miasteczku Anna na mnie czeka. Czekający panny iście za mną smucą. Chociaż ich nie kocham, jednak mnie rzucą. Czekający panny iście za mną smucą. Chociaż ich nie kocham, jednak mnie rzucą. Jak w każdym miasteczku mam dziewczynę młodą, w całej Ameryce i nawet za wodą. Po tym całym świecie ja sobie wędruję i w każdym miasteczku panienki całuję. Po tym całym świecie ja sobie wędruję i w każdym miasteczku panienki całuję. Spotkałem dziewczynę piękną tak jak ja. La 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 la. Spotkałem dziewczynę piękną tak jak ja. A miała 16 lat. Ona chłopcu nigdy nie całowała. La 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 la. Ona chłopcu nigdy nie całowała. Całować nie umiała. Ojcu ci twoja mamusiu mówiła. La 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 la. Ojcu ci twoja mamusiu mówiła. Jakieś lalki bawiła. Jak prawiło patrzeć przyjdzie to poznać. La 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 la. Jak prawiło patrzeć przyjdzie to poznać. To mój twoją rączkę dasz.
Hey, Dennis Motika and the Good Times Orchestra playing one for you called the Sweet 16 Polka.
Broadcasting around the world on the World Wide Web. This is your number one internet station. Broadcasting around the world. This is your number one internet station. The music you love right here, right now.
Yeah, we get it. Your number one music station. Thank you so much for that. Don't you think they already know that?
When I come home at night, it's just a sheer delight to see my girls. They come and hold me tight. They're only 6 and 2, and both their eyes are blue and golden girls. I've got my girls. You never get a thrill from watching sports, but still they have their way to come and make my day. Show off a pretty dress, come in a mud pie, that's my little pearls. I've got my girls. Hey, hey, hey. When I come home at night, it's just a sheer delight to see my girls. They come and hold me tight. They're only 6 and 2, and both their eyes are blue and golden curls. I've got my girls. They never get a thrill from watching sports, but still they have their way to come and make my day. Show off a pretty dress, come in a mud pie mess, my little pearls. I've got my girls.
Hi, this is Richie Dombrowski of the Polka Country Musicians, inviting you to join us for the 7th annual Ocean Beach Park Polka Days taking place at beautiful, sunny Ocean Beach Park in New London, Connecticut, June 22nd to June 25th, 2022. Yours truly, the Polka Country Musicians, will once again be your host band as we bring you some of the nation's finest polka bands. This year, joining us at Ocean Beach will be the Boys, Polka Family Band, John Gurat and Gurate, Matt's All-Stars, the Dyna Brass, the New Tones, Eddie Foreman Orchestra, the Beat, the Maestro's Men, Lenny Gomolka and Chicago Push, the Energy Reunion, and of course, yours truly, the Polka Country Musicians. We'll get this party started once again on Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. on the boardwalk with PCM, and music will continue Thursday through Saturday in the Picnic Pavilion during the day and in the ballroom all evening long. For tickets, hotel info, and questions or additional information, please visit our website at www.oceanbeachparkpolkadays.com and follow us on Facebook at Ocean Beach Park Polka Days. It's going to be a great time at Ocean Beach Park Polka Days 2022, and we're excited to be back. You don't want to miss it. We hope to see you all at the beach.
For me now, and just once more. Yeah. One shake, just once more. Ale i poczesać, żeby się dobiegać, nie do now. I'd like to see you here again, gang. Help me out once more. Can you dig it, I say? Ooh, yeah. Just once more. Everybody that likes Fireball. Am I saying it again now? Once more. Everybody doing it. Yeah, I like it. Hi, we thank you for this flashback from Dr. Lipson.
Ojciec, chłopcy, ojciec zbijać, bo nie mamy za co bijać. Hej, bo się nam za syno syna, hej, odbijać syna, hej, odbijać. Hej, bo się nam za syno syna, hej, odbijać syna, hej, odbijać. A jest ojciec to cała sa, którą piękno będzie na sa. Ej, kuty chłopcy, kuty somojesz, żonek złoty somojesz, żonek złoty. Ej, kuty chłopcy, kuty somojesz, żonek złoty somojesz, żonek złoty. Na biedę śmierci złota, to uciekaj poprzez wrota. Ej, do góry pierwszami z pięknymi dziewczynami, z pięknymi dziewczynami. Ej, do góry pierwszami z pięknymi dziewczynami, z pięknymi dziewczynami. Ojciec, chłopcy, ojciec zbijać, bo nie mamy za co bijać. Ej, bo się nam za syno syna, ej, odbijać syna, ej, odbijać. Ej, bo się nam za syno syna, ej, odbijać syna, ej, odbijać.
That's a little bit of Polka family. Right now, let's bring up Mr. Ray J himself, and we want to say good afternoon to Ray and also to Marianne. God bless you guys. Hope to see you soon.
Podtańcuję troszeczkę, podtańcuję troszeczkę. Zagrajcie mi poleczkę, podtańcuję troszeczkę. Dobra jest ta poleczka, poleczka, poleczka. Bo wesoło i skoczna, bo wesoła i skoczna. Dobra jest ta poleczka, bo wesoła i skoczna. Dobra Polka podskoczna, podskoczna, podskoczna. A najlepsza Poleczka to jest Polka z Opoczna. A najlepsza Poleczka to jest Polka z Opoczna. Dobry dzbanek i szklanka, i szklanka, i szklanka. A najlepsza taramblanka, a najlepsza taramblanka. Dobry dzbanek i szklanka, a najlepsza taramblanka.
W imię Ojca i Syna i Ducha Świętego przymilcie nas młodzi do serca swojego. Śpiewać, by tu śpiewać, nie wiedząc co śpiewać. Boga nie obrazić, ludzi nie podniewać. Dwa serca związane z tą rzeczką zieloną, jużeż ty, Marysiu, Jasiową żoną. Dwa serca związane, klucz do nieba wzięty, nikt was nie rozłączy, tylko sam Bóg Święty. Obejrzyj się, Maryś, na nasz polski kościół, boś tam zostawiła swój wianek wiecznością. Obejrzyj się, Maryś, na te polskie dzwony, boś tam zostawiła swój wianek mierkowy. Obejrzył się, Maryś, na tę polską wiedzą, szczęściu nasza młoda, twój wianek przewiozą. Wiedzą oni wiedzą i nie mogą przywieźć, bo tyś go musiała na swej główce przynieść. Nie płacz, Maryś, nie płacz, wianeczka nie żałuj, rzuć wianek pod ławę i Jasia pocałuj. A ty, nasza druhno, powolno, powolno, tak prędko wianeczka zdzierać ci nie wolno. Powoli wybieraj szpileczki kończyste, żebyś nie stargała włosyki złociste. Powoli wybieraj i układaj wszędzie, żeby po wianeczku znaki były wszędzie. Wstążeczki, szpileczki chowaj do skrzyneczki, bo ci się przydadzą dla twojej córeczki. A ty, panie młody, schowaj swoje caczki, bo ci się przydadzą dla tego syneczka. Nasza pani młoda kiepsko swatów chowa, bo się ty żadnemu nie zawraca głowa. A ty, panie młody, zafunduj nam wina. Raj, 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 raj.
Hey folks, well, it's come to a close. Jerry and I want to say thank you guys ever so much for putting us on, tuning us in. If you've been listening in your car,
thanks for the ride.
And we love you guys. We will see you, if in the Lord willing, next week Saturday right here on
Polkas After Dark.
On our broadcast link with the C.com, also
on Facebook
and
YouTube. Love you guys. Stay safe.
Hey, once again, here's that upcoming release, Matt Lewandowski, one called Hooked on Polka Music.
I finally found my drug of choice, and I know I'll never quit. I'm hooked on polka music, and I might as well admit I crave it several times a day. I never get too much. I feel good when I hear it, so I use it as a crutch. I thought about my habit, and I've yet to find a fault. The price is right, you can't OD, and it ain't against the law. Anything you love this much, I guess, could be a sin. So just in case, I turn to chapter 7 now and then. I wake up every morning and hear my radio come to life with music from the favorite polka show. I know that I'm addicted now, but it's the path I choose. I'm hooked on polka music, it's the only drug.